I don't really have a name. The elves call me Ness or Nay, or Sapling in your woods. Ness is fine, because it's a lot of words otherwise. We didn't really need names in the tribe, other than Marlo for friend, or Amal for mother. The last thing I remember of my mother was her pressing this into my hand and pushing me into the river. I didn't really realise it at the time, but she was saving 2 lives. The river carried me away and kept me safe, me and the thing in my hand. All I knew was the river, the moonlight, and the screams. And when I got home again, all I saw was black ash and rot. I knew why she did it. I wasn't supposed to have this. Anna was meant to be the next Amal. Maybe she'd have known what to do with the seed of a tree that's older than my mother's mother's mother. And the thing I carry, I know it's a person, though I don't know her name, and I've never seen her face. I know she relies on me. I think I'm the only one left.
Alrighty, and we're on. Welcome, everybody, back to the realms of Lorei'an, where the adventures of Lorei'an continue. Chronicles of Lorei'an, where swords are broken, old mentors are met, and party members are sent packing, knocked down on their asses. Dreams are had with ominous visions. And the journey continues into the Wyveris Oasis. Today we pick up at the peak of last night's battle. The blood moon hangs high above the sky, with the monsters slain and at your feet. Nepenthe Urdu, along with Lorei'an, you had prepared for what was to be the second coming of the blood moon. A very ominous lunar event in which every time the moon reaches its cycle and becomes full, monstrous beasts of shadow and fire would attack seemingly out of Vandria's command, the Lady of Grief, through some pursuit of reclaiming the seemingly I can't say that. I can't let out that information. Seemingly to target Nepenthe for some reason or the other related to their divinity, most likely related to the Raven Queen. But with that,
accidentally spills the actual true intentions. Of
I was like, are you about to drop my whole backstory in the
I was like, I'm gonna stop myself right there. Sorry. Very busy week. Long day. Okay. And also last time, the party had ventured down into Waver's River, a mouth opening that had connected Nord's Crossing into the World Sea, the Oceanus Terrarum, where your adventures on the high seas had concluded, and you are now making your way to the Oasis, where you had agreed to meet up with a guide, someone of the Cobalt Soul, where you are sent to excavate the ruins in the Ruben Ridge Sultanate in the Tordakian Desert. On the way there, you were met with a very large galleon ship, the Black Mask, whereupon its captain, Ezra Fontaine, had accompanied with her Xavier's old blade singing master from the Luminaris estate. One Corvain Haranil, who then proceeded to beat his ass, shatter Dawn in half, and sent them on their way. So today we pick up. Heat of the battle dying down, the light of the moon shining down upon this plain of grass, where you have set up camp. You watch the bodies of the beasts that you had slain slowly get dragged into the floor by these shadowy limbs. and you watch as the blood moon hanging high above the sky continues to illuminate its luminescent red light upon the grassy field. And as we pick up today, why don't you make me a perception check, Nepenthe?
Sure.
Natural one. So you feel the rage of the battle inside, gripping still very tightly onto Giant Slayer, breathing heavily. You can't help but be reminded of the flashes of the dreams you had last night. Angry that this third influence is taking control, is having this much of an influence in what you're doing in your journey, and the fact that they may try to hurt your friends as well. You are not paying very much attention to your surroundings at all. It is at this point that you hear within your mind, almost telepathically, you don't know from which direction, a voice, a male's voice, raspy, but strong and with a back of conviction within its tone. And it says, Lady Vandria will have her due, and what is rightfully hers. You are but a faker, a sorry imitation, and I will see to it myself that your memory is short-lived. I vow to it, my lady.
Sorry. Who else is in my head? I'm getting so tired of this.
You look around for the source of the voice. You don't see anything. Why don't Ronax isn't here. Amabilis, Ness, Xavier, each of you make perception checks for me.
Okay. But my character she's not open. Oh, it only takes 2 hours to open. It's cheats. Shit.
And there's probably
Wow.
around sort of wildly at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 nat ones. Let's go.
Oh my god.
I
You
guess.
okay, 14 from Ness.
Can I have Images help me?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Sure, you need it at this point. Okay. So with the nat ones, and Ness as well. Ness, you're keeping a very watchful eye about the place. Amabilis and Nepenthe, the both of you, what you notice within the this battle sort of coming to a slow finish is that the bodies of the creatures that are being dragged into the ground, you watch as their heads and eyes, both the hellhounds and these sort of very pale-skinned winged bat creatures, as they are dragged into the ground by these shadowy limbs, they jut their eyes back up at you. Even the ones with the severed heads, their heads all turn and stare at your standing forms before they are dragged under.
Well, that's not frightening.
Xavier, you look up, and within the blood moon you see a shadow, a form. This blackened humanoid shape, wings like bats spread out, almost like the Batman symbol for when the light is shined onto the top of Gotham, but smaller.
Can I try to cast a spell?
Yeah, and humanoid, just floating up there. It's about 6 maybe 700 feet away off into the sky. Just this glimpse of a shape
Oh, okay.
in the moon, very, very far away. You see these blips of red eyes that stare down from it.
So it's not within 30 feet.
No, no, no.
Never mind.
And it
I will
stays.
call up to it
Yeah.
and say, "Well, your goons are gone. Sure you don't want to come down and have a conversation?"
And at this point, you all hear in your heads, telepathically, all of you at the same time. Now is not the time for me. The same voice. And though I may uptake this vow, it would be carried out another day. The moon always has its eyes on you. And I will never stop watching. The cloak sort of flutters, and this shape spins into a dozen bats or so that scatter and fly off into the night sky. Nepenthe, you have this inner thought that if the Frost Maiden had imbued you with this strength, right? Not necessarily championed you, but given you this power to act beyond your inner strength, this influence, then it makes sense that there would be others that the deities would sort of influence and use to enact their wills. If the monsters and aberrations weren't a sign of those first wave of minions, maybe there's something more powerful out there as well in pursuit.
Nepenthe loses her cool. Her axe goes flying into a nearby tree. She sort of cries out in frustration. Just heaving breaths. And then, after a moment, calms down. The rage sort of fully subsides, and she goes to start prying the axe out of where it's dug deeply into the trunk of the nearby tree.
Force of which you've thrown the axe, it goes spinning through the air, passes by Xavier on your right. This blur of Giant Slayer just impaled into a tree where it nearly half collapses into the ground. When you walk up to try and dislodge it from the tree, you come to realize that how much of a heavy force you had thrown the axe, and it has embedded itself so deep into the tree that it takes a bit of effort to take back out of the trunk.
Sorry about the tree, Ness. And she's just gonna walk
Muted,
back towards
Joe.
the ship.
Just a heads up.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit of lay on hands on the tree.
Oh.
She didn't mean it. She's just having a bad day.
Where does Nepenthe go, you say?
Heading towards the water, towards the ship.
Cool.
The Ventus Ferrum remains anchored in low tide, where you left it, on the side of this riverbank.
I think Xavier will wait a moment, make sure everyone around the camp has their things in order before continuing and following the event. When And as he walks towards the ship, looks up at the moon, sighs a little bit, and continues walking. And as he does so, reaches for Dawn instinctually, letting not to be there. Sighs a little bit, and instead pulls his hands together, and waves through the air in an arc of lightning. And as he does so, clouds begin to form above the ship, obscuring the moon so that Nepenthe can't see it from where she is, and so that it can see her.
With
And
the obstruction of the clouds comes to shield the blood red moon, which is currently slowly fading into a more pale light pink as it comes behind a cover of clouds, and the reddish tint that covers the battlefield now vanishes, with only the low spark of the campfire, which is now ignited back to life, where it had previously dimmed and gone out.
And I will just walk up onto the boat, I assume wherever she is, just kind of lean my arms against the railing, and wait a moment and see if Nepenthe wants to start a conversation, or if she has anything she wants to say.
I'm tired of other people's voices in my head. God, I'm just tired.
Since I left Draconis, most frightening I've ever seen was Vervain. Since then, we've fought gods, destroyed elementals, and threatened by things 10 times worse. Still, there is nothing I know more than the fact that through it all, it'll be okay. I can't speak to the running or whatever prophetic destiny you've got yourself tied up in, but we'll get through it. I'd have to run a little longer, but I don't have doubts.
You must have some.
And you?
Hundreds.
I have doubts. They don't concern you.
My dream the other night, the nightmare.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Frost Maiden that I spoke to at all. It was Vandria. And she just, I saw some pretty terrible things, and I don't want her to take her anger out, whatever she's angry about, on you guys. I know that you've said that you'd fight God for me, and that's great. I'd do it for you too, obviously. But
Obviously.
yeah.
Smiles.
Easy work. But I don't want to get you guys caught up in something that could kill you. Really, and
He's gonna reach into his pocket and pull out the crystal from Stumpalog and place it on the railing and say, it took me about a month and a half after leaving home for the first of my interactions with deity level creatures. Made it a little further before we were dealing with the abominations sending themselves to hell. A little past that, there was something pretty beautiful in Ness's necklace, but something beyond my comprehension. So, whatever you're tied up in, however big it is, I'm glad it's here. Because if it weren't, I'm sure we would get tied up in something far worse.
she looks like she's struggling for a moment.
Oh, didn't even mention the Tempest.
Yeah, suppose that was close to it. But I think that the Raven Queen is still alive somehow.
Isn't she living through you?
Yeah, but I think it's more than that. I think she took part of my memory to feed her or something of that sort. And all the years I've been alive, I've lost plenty of things, but never my memory. I always got to remember. And I would hate to forget you. All of you. I couldn't do that.
He thinks a moment, and then let's see. Xavier steps forward, pulling out many people are on this party? 6? Correct?
6.
Minus her, so 5. He'll pull out 5 small vials and place them before you. And he'll pick up the first one and uncork it. And pull. Actually, it would be from your perspective, so he'll say, then let's make sure you can't. I don't want to go inside your mind or anything. You got enough people doing that nowadays. But how about this? You give me one thought, a favorite memory that encapsulates me. I am to you, to the others, to whoever you want. And we'll keep it safe right here. If she takes anything, we've got a backup.
Do I just think it or?
He walks up, takes he's slowly inching the gap, and he stands before you, looking up to you, and reaches his hand up, kind of onto your face, and touches your temple with his index finger, and then moving that to his thumb and doing that thing where he's touching your ear and slightly behind the neck, and just says, "Yeah, just give me a thought."
The first time you beat me while sparring. And you had to stitch me up after.
Using detect thoughts and encode thoughts, he reads that off of her, not prying any deeper than he would have to, and pulls out a strand of thoughts and memory. And it's like this ethereal, kind of flowing, liquid, steam kind of mixture, like in between a liquid and a gas. He carefully puts it into the vial, corks it back up. And as he does, you can kind of see the images of them sparring back and forth, and as Xavier spins around and knocks her onto her ass, and picks it back up, and as they talk, and I believe that scene ended with them just sitting together in assistance.
You almost hear
And
from the bottles itself these muffled sounds, like when you're in a place with heavy, dense crowds, but you're hearing chatter and talking. You hear the winds blowing through the rolling hills of Slumberlog. You hear the clashing of wooden weapons. You hear dirt and footsteps. You hear talking, and just from this small glass vial, these sounds just sort of resonate.
Brilliant.
he smiles and pulls out some string and wraps it around, making a kind of necklace. Holds it up to you, so you can see it a little better. See, now I can't forget.
Yeah, I guess not. I thought to just write it down, but it's a lot prettier.
A little bit. Gives a wink.
I feel like Ness and Emma Billis are over by the by the fire, getting it stoked again. Possibly Amabilis is on Ness's shoulder, and they're both kind of watching but not watching.
Yeah. So I think they go through all the party.
You think? Arvo, do you know I have a confession to make? You know when on the ship, I asked the group to go with Xavier, right?
She nods.
Yeah, I didn't have a plan. I just wanted them to be together.
Marvelous put her paws over her mouth and started giggling.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they're still both here. Do you think maybe they don't want to kiss again in front of us?
Well, not if we caught them first.
Yeah, pretend to be looking at somewhere else. Yeah.
The two of you atop the deck of the Ventus Ferrum. Wind slowly blows, and with it, the clouds that you had conjured up drifts off past. As it unshields the moon behind it, you see before you a large, beautiful full moon. Not anymore tinted by the red of the influence of whatever was hunting you down this night.
Yeah, it's a brazier, by the way, not a flaming fire, because that would be insane.
Yep. Yep. Hi, Amir.
Hi, Amir.
Good morning.
Hi, Mir.
The piece de resistance arrives fashionably late.
Yeah, Vivi.
Aw.
It is
Before,
okay. You only missed the Nepenthe and Xavier scenes, that's all.
Will we
I don't know if it's a that's all kind of thing. It was kind of sick. but
It was
sure.
kind of sick. Yeah.
I
I don't know. I was kind of acting my ass off, Roddy.
Yeah. Why don't both of you take a point of inspiration? It will carry into the next morning and throughout the whole entire of the day tomorrow. But yeah, I'm giving you both one for that.
Thank you.
And for the sake of aesthetic and whatnot, I feel like he ends up basically forming one larger vial that's like smaller than your palm, so that you can hold it pretty easily. And puts all 5 of the memories in one, so that they're all kind of like swirling in, like, you know, like oil and water. When you combine them, they don't combine
Yeah.
necessarily. None of them mix, but they're all kind of swirling together as they form like one liquid.
Add to your inventory as many thoughts in a bottle as you have bottles for. And spell slots for.
We say like maybe 5 fit in a bottle.
Yeah. Okay. The night goes by, the rest of it. Sorry, anything else you wanted to do first night?
Let me see.
Keith.
Teeth?
No, Keith.
Okay.
I would like, as soon as he leaves, he'll, as that conversation comes to an end, and he makes sure Renifen's okay, Xavier will kind of walk off back downstairs, and let's see, what weird shit can I pull?
Yeah.
I'll pull. I just want to cast Sending.
Okay. To whom?
What is the Lady of Grief's name?
Vandria? You're sending to a god?
The goddess of
Fuck
grief. Do not do that.
Oh, how does that
Sit
work?
down.
How does that work?
Does
I
that
can do
even
it.
do? Like, does that work?
Sending. To a creature which you are familiar.
I saw her, didn't I?
I guess. Well, that wasn't really Vandria, but Sure. Yeah, go for it,
I will
man.
try it.
Yeah.
If it fails, it fails. But I
Yeah,
will
you're
try.
pulling some shit, dude. Let's go.
I will sitting in the lower decks of the Ventus Ferrum. Pull out that same scroll, like another scroll of parchment, and holds it, and it flings forth in front of him, holding steady ready for him to speak. And he says, "Lady of Grief,
Go on. Sorry.
lovely name. It suggests cordially. And you stay as far away as you possibly can. There are ties to this group. Word.
Bitch.
Sincerely.
You, as the final word of this spell leaves your mouth, you don't know what the effects of this is. Like casting sending on a divine being. Obviously one above and beyond the realms of the mortal plane. But you do. Anyway. And a few moments pass. 5, 10 seconds. The quill hangs in the air, like, and you keep thinking it's gonna write something. It's gonna write something. There's gonna be a response. And then it doesn't. And you begin to turn away. And then the quill vibrates. And then, as if seconds are wiped from time and space itself, there is a gap in your memory where you blink and then you don't hear the words, but before you is written, "I will have what is mine." And the letters spark into flame and burn away the pages.
Fancy. He'll look around, shove the ashes under the hammock, and say just aloud, whoever can hear him in this moment, whatever creature is looking at him, and just say, "Grief. What a lonely title." Walk up to the deck.
You see Akio in his pajamas carrying like a candle, like peeks down and like, "What are you doing, Xavier?"
Nothing. Nothing at all.
So yeah. Cool. The rest of the night goes by undisturbed. You get whatever rest you can out of the rest of tonight. And eventually the sun rises overhead to a new day. Let me update the date on the on our sheet here real quick. This is the 23rd of Perrier. Boom. Still in the middle of summer. Let me just move you over here to our scenes for today. You see stretching out before you, within the warm sunlight of a summer morning, white clouds ahead, mountains and series of rolling hills, and the river, the very wide river canal that extends and continues, narrows and widens again once more. into a series of mountains to the west that looks dry, arid, a light bit of snow upon their peaks. And as you mount back up onto the Ventus Ferrum, the ship continues on onto this very, very wide canal through Nord's Crossing, now onto Waivers River, as you start making your way into Reuben Ridge proper. You see before you outstretching fields of orange grass. And the series of hills become larger and larger, to where the size of some of these mountain ranges are unfathomable, larger than what you've ever seen before in life. The river continues, and the Ventus along with it, the heavy series of rowing. Now that the winds have died back down again throughout the day, and then the winds pick back up in the afternoon, where the sails carry you throughout the rest of the leg of this journey down into Wyveris. On the second half of the day, late afternoon, you start seeing other ships. Smaller trading ships, rowing boats, fishing boats. Signs of civilization once more greets you. As you begin to enter Wyveris, merchant ships, caravans on the sides of roads, and you see all sorts of people making their way southwards where you are going. But half a day goes by. When you reach a magnificent sight before you, as the greenery and rolling hills and grassy plains start to wither, fade away into orange, dry, cracked earth and sandy plains. Winds blow hot and arid as you gaze up, and now see as I get it onto the screen here. Momentarily.
Oh yeah, I should probably open Roll20.
Yeah. A series of walls. Massive sandstone gates. Fluttering banners atop their peaks, towers of sandstone. The clouds gray with dust and sand and smoke. As the clear waters enter seemingly these large city gates, you see more and more ships now gather at the mouth of the city. Palm trees sway in the winds. And you see many dozen guards stationed outside the gates themselves. Ship approaches. You see one of them cloaked in yellow, human male, approaches from one of the top of these raised platforms and yells down onto the ships. "Halt there! You approach the sand gates. In entering the Wyveris Oasis, what business do you have, travelers?"
We're on an expedition. Work for a college.
College, state the name of your organization, if I am to let you pass.
Xavier.
Cobalt Soul.
You're a bit the Cobalt Reserves.
That is the one.
Go and make your way into the city. Do keep the fuss at a down low. And try not to disturb the peace. Welcome to Wyveris. These large, heavy iron gates creak and open up as the ship now makes its way into this entryway into the city of Wyveris. Eventually you come to a series of docks where a very, very busy series of ships are stationed, anchored. As you come into one of these spaces, you see a man with a ledger approach your ship. This is a lizard folk male. He wears a feathered bonnet atop his head. Yells up to the ship. Name, registration, entry.
The ships are mine.
Name of the ship, name of captain.
Ship's name is Ventus Ferrum, and I am Captain Nepenthe Erdu.
Which nation do you sail under?
Garfield.
Alright. And he goes in and writes down his ledger. You hear the scratching of his quill on paper. As he says, will you be docking long?
Depends on our business.
If you will be staying for a number of days, there are a series of boats and repair harbors to the east of the city. If not, for business within 1 or 2 days, feel free to park within this space. If your ship is left abandoned without crew, it will be taken into the custody of the Radiant Sun Temple. Enjoy your visit.
Thank you. We
Of
should
you.
probably head to that other place then, though.
Yeah, I don't think 2 days will be quite enough.
2 days. Yeah, we'll head to the other docking area.
Okay. So you, just for purposes of convenience, we'll say you can store your ship here for a number of days, costing you only 10 silver pieces per day, in which you will be
Cool, give
stationing your
like
ship.
5 gold so that we're chilling.
Okay, yeah,
I'll just give
sure.
him 5 gold.
Yeah, the halfling man who takes your money and signs off your ship on his little record is very happy to make the transaction and promises to keep your ship safe as you venture into the desert.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Alrighty, let me.
Do we know anything about this area, this nation, where we're going?
Yes. Let me recall some
Can I ask for a load dump?
knowledge to you. Ones that don't require rolls. So first, this is the city of Wyveris. There are a total of 2 sand gates. One where you had just passed, which is the sort of the Oasis entrance, and the other one stands sort of in the southern rye field to Reuben Ridge border. You don't know why these sand gates are a thing, though I'll allow a series of rolls later if you want to figure out the history of this location. The important pieces of information that will be prevalent to you is that you are to meet up with a guide from the Cobalt Soul. You don't know where. You don't know who. You
I
don't know.
really hope the Cobalt Soul has a little bit of a better representative than last time.
What else can I give you? It seems to be, from just glancing around, seems to be a trading port town that connects into an oasis within the Thordakian desert itself. There are dozens and dozens of ships here, not unlike Naveport, where Ronax and Amabilis you've been to before boarding the Blue Gale. Yeah, whoever wants to make history checks for the area can do that.
Happy to do so.
Seventeen,
17,
14, 9. Okay. With a 17, Xavier. You've read of this area before. That the area of Wyveris was founded by an elven scholar out of Reuben Ridge in sort of like the late 200 RE era. as he ventures down from northern Greenhaven into this area. He has sort of discovered and named this canal after Nord's Crossing that comes into this oasis after himself, which is a bit of a an ass move for an elf to kind of claim this area on the map and name it after himself, even though there are already people living here. And this area has become a very large harbor for trade, where all sorts of people come through. The economy of such a small city is unfortunately not as booming as the Ryfield capital, but people come here almost as like a pit stop to go on to Dendolith, the capital. Yeah, with a 14 Ronax, it's interesting. There are flashes in your memory to where you are running around in an orphanage. Very vague, almost melancholic images of these sandy floors and adobe buildings and sandstone houses. A vague sense of familiarity to this area.
I think that she is just kind of taking in all the sights and studying every last bit of architecture with a very keen eye.
Cool. Why don't you give me a actually party-wide perception checks, just straight rolls, no need for assists, just taking in your surroundings here in this time. 14, 17, 12.
Yep, we got 17.
Awesome. 5, 14, 17, 12.
I'm shit at perception.
Amabilis can make one for me as well, since you are expertise in, I believe, perception. Yeah, awesome, 25. Okay, first thing you notice, and even with the low perception roll of 5, it is hot here, and it is dry, and it is arid, and there is almost no wind, and it smells funny, and your skin feels itchy and dry. You feel your lips start to crack up, and you drink more water than usual in this area. Let's see here. You see, now that you've docked, this area is a wide oasis amidst sandy shores where there are an abundance of palm trees, adobe huts, sandstone bungalows. You see shirtless children of various races. You see humans, you see lizard folk, you see dragonborn, halflings, gnomes. It's a very densely populated area with tons of populations of various races running around, playing, swimming. You hear the chatter of the commerce and market. You see people doing laundry within this river. You see people drinking from the river. You see people swimming in the river. The same river and oasis that all of these ships come through and dock.
None of this seems sanitary.
No, I agree. It is quite. I stress. I would not want to normally use this word, but uncivilized.
I mean, historically, it happens a lot. It's just gross.
Ness and Mabilis. I'll do Ness first. You are very well notified of the notion where people's lives and well-beings are very largely dependent on one source of nature. And here in this town, people's the oasis here is the source of people's well-being. They have constructed a city here. They drink from this water. They trade in this water. They clean in this water. they fish and find food in this water. It truly is the heart of this city here, this oasis.
Yeah. Do I get a sense of like nature and vitality from this oasis?
You do. The rare
It's well
bits
cared for.
well cared for is we'll put it at a mediums, because you do see palm trees and you do see bits of flowers and whatever grass that people are able to preserve in this weather. You see parks, you see playgrounds, just where people are very, very dependent upon this body of water to live. Amabilis. So you sort of run up and stand on the railings of your ship and just sort of wildly look around the city. And you're like, wow, this is the city is huge. Even for a port town. But for a city this big, you notice something slightly off. Weird. Is that within its streets, even though there are a number of ships on the docks, so even though you hear all of this loud chattering, the streets are relatively empty. There are scatterings of people trading, setting up stalls. There are open shops and windows, but the population out walking in the open space seems low for a city this busy.
Amabilis climbs down and she walks to Nepenthe. I'm feeling quite a bit weird about this.
Yeah, it's. Ugh. I think hell is colder than this.
There's not as much people as I expected to be here for such a large port.
Well, whenever we see something weird, it always ends up that we end up fixing it later, so. But
Amabilis gives a thumb up.
I agree with you though, it's strange. There's so many ships, you'd need hundreds of men for a crew.
Well, I'll go back to my watch out, Captain Nepenthe. I'll see you later. Bye.
Do we know that this
You
time of
broke
year?
her!
You can't not smile at that.
Yeah, you can't.
Do we know if this time of year there is some celebration that we're missing? The place everyone's gathered?
Make history or religion your choice.
Right, definitely history. Natural one!
It's really fucking hot.
All right.
I just want to have a little moment, if that's all right.
Yeah.
I just want to be go and stand down by the shore and actually get my bare feet into the water of the oasis, standing under a palm tree that's bowing out over it.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath and whisper a blessing in Elvish. And then the palm tree like bows out and there's a rustle as Snowfeather lands in the palm tree. And I'm like, look up, catch the coconut that falls. Chrissy, I think you should better come down from there because I think you're a little too big for that tree now.
She doesn't come down.
Yeah, I think you might be hurting it.
Just slowly glides down.
Scooch. That's it.
The water is warm on your feet. But in this hot weather, even this warm water feels cold. You reckon your usual clothes aren't gonna suffice? If the city is this hot, what's it gonna be like traveling out into the open desert?
Yeah, that is going to be a problem.
Shopping day.
The idea comes across the group, and Xavier just looks around, waves his hand, and his clothes burn away into very light linens and a much lighter, tannish, like desert camo attire.
Yeah.
That can breathe a lot better than what he was wearing before.
That's just what I was about to say. Yeah, a lot more breathability, a lot lighter. You're like more exposed areas where movement is made easier. You're still sweating like a motherfucker, but it's better.
I use a bit of the. I'm going to just splash myself with a little bit of the Oasis water, and I'm going to look around and see, like, for the people that we can see, what are they wearing to keep the heat off?
I'll make a perception check.
That's a 12.
Yeah, it's quite easy enough to gauge. Most of the men are shirtless, and so are the children. The women have these how do I call them? Like these white and gray robes. Most of them cover the top of their heads with a hood. Just very, very soft silks, you see. Colorful.
Yeah, I think we
That's
might
some
need
bullshit.
I think we might need some like hoods or stuff to keep the sun off during the day.
Let me describe the situation to you. Now, we're gonna talk DM to player for a little bit here. This is a city that I've put down in front of you. You have relatively no idea where things are. You can ask around, and you can like make series of rolls to kind of navigate your way through the city. You've only been given very limited amounts of information. However, whatever you want to find is available for you in the city, and so imagination here is key. So, like, list something out that you're wanting to do or find, something that would get you closer to your goal, or some shopping, and it will be available to you. So, with that, who wants to do what within the city of Vivarius?
We're probably gonna come back to our ship, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I'd like to. I've been thinking about this. I'd like to try to commission a piece of armor while we're here, so I can pick it up on the way back. That's what I'm gonna do.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll go with Nepenthe and try to commission 2 short swords.
Okay, so you're finding blacksmith. Cool.
Armor.
Both of you can make investigation checks for me. Not too high of a DC. A lot of people do metal work in this area.
Yes.
Nepenthe, you are melting. You don't know where to go. It's hot. You feel like you are a cube of ice on a frying pan. Xavier. A bit of asking around, not even too hard at all. You know your way around the smithies and stuff like that. Even if places without a sign in front you do immediately recognize to be good places of metalworking, you pass by a few places that don't look up to standard. Eventually you come to... let me look it up here. A kind of an open front sandstone and adobe shop front store with a pane of window in front, displaying some very well crafted armor. And the name of this shop is Tarduk's.
I forgot. I actually need Amabilis to come with me.
Okay.
Okay.
So 3 of you are there. While this is going on, might I ask what Ness and Ronax would be doing?
Yeah, I have a suggestion actually.
Cool.
So this will be like. So I think that while I'm in this town, I want to like ask around to see if anybody knows anything about an old tree that was in the desert, or any like weird stuff that is going on with nature and things like that, because that would have been really handy to know while we was under the sea and everything. So I'm going to think ahead, but I might need a bit of help with like finding people and talking to people, because sometimes I doesn't come across the best, and sometimes I doesn't really understand what the answers are.
Well, if nobody else is going to volunteer, then I suppose.
Yeah, you could ask about the stuff that you was interested in about the deserts.
I don't mind just giving you a hand, Ness. I have lots of things I'm thinking about right now.
So I think we're going in search of scholars.
Awesome.
People who would know about things like nature and archaeology and what's going on in the desert.
Awesome. We'll come get to the 2 of your roles here in just a second. As we now zoom back over the city, back to Tarduk's. You open the front door. It has a little bell on it. It jingles, cling, 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 cling. As you go into this, you see that the front of the store also doubles as the forge area. So as to like preserve space, because buildings here are very densely packed, he doesn't have a side forge outside. The inside is the forge. And so as soon as you walk in, you are met with this blazing, roaring flame as the sand and sort of clay forge behind roars with open fire, and you see that the shopkeeper turns around, this large black-furred minotaur with a ring in his nostrils.
And here I was thinking it couldn't get any hotter.
Is that a compliment?
I think it
Well-
was more Gamboro speaking.
Oh, you talk about me forge, not myself. Tarduk extends this large furred hand towards you.
I'll
Just
shake
bent
it.
forward so I don't have to shake it.
Oh,
You
what?
can do good work here. I have a bit of a strange request.
Oh, we get customers with strange requests all the time here. What can I do for you?
This is my good friend Amabilis.
Amavus is currently distracted with the bell at the door right now.
She is far deadlier than she currently appears.
I
Anyway.
believe that.
I was hoping to get some sort of large shoulder piece or such made that she could stand on and ride along with me.
Talking about a platform for your little kitten friend on your shoulders there. Am I correct?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes, we do.
Good.
We do quite good work together, so to keep her closer would be far more beneficial for our group.
Oh, I go ahead and draft that out for you, no problem. And he like brings out a small piece of parchment and some chalk. charcoal, and like with these deftly speeds that seemingly impossible for large minotaur hands, he starts sketching out this sort of large shoulder piece. He says, as he does, he should sort of like ask out questions as he pushes up these tiny pair of spectacles onto his large face. Pushes them up. Asks, what sort of material are you looking to make these out of?
I want them to last. What do you suggest?
Well, here we've got some good quality steel and bronze I can mix into that if you want.
The steel, I'd prefer.
Very well. Already want any designs engraved or otherwise?
Amabilis, do you have a pattern you'd like?
What?
On an armor, what would you get engraved?
An armor. She walks over and she sees this ginormous dude in front of her. Is he supposed to be the bad guy?
No, this is a friend.
Oh, okay. Are there any options?
There are, you see, he pretends, no, not pretends, he presents to you a number of designs on parchment sheets that he's sketched out. You see these, like, twirling, sort of tree roots design. You see this, like, very, uniform, vertical and horizontal lines. You see, like, flowers, and you see, well, whatever comes to mind. Mountains and clouds? Sure.
I do kind of like the flowers ones.
Then, we will do the flowers.
See, like, he like lowers his face and looks at you through the pair of spectacles. Sure.
Yeah, just a few, and perhaps some of the tree roots as well to sort of
I'll get
space
that
them out.
done for you. Oh, do you want me to make that attachable there to your armor, or is it going to be a solo piece that you're just going to be carrying?
Solo. I don't like armor that much.
I'll put down some leather straps there for your arm. And let's see. Go ahead and make an indent right there for your friend to stand on. Should be done. 200 gold pieces. Give me 2 weeks.
Oh,
That seems agreeable.
I also would like a crescent moon on the flower, if that makes any sense.
Noted.
Oh, and a butterfly as well.
Noted. It sort of adds on to the design that he already has.
Great. And then, this is not particularly commission, but I'm looking for very fine chains, almost like a jeweler would use. Do you know where I could get those?
Fine chains. I can look around out back for you. What are you using them for?
Embellishments, nothing more. They needn't be strong.
I can go ahead and look for you. And goes behind. You'll see here rummaging through metal and wooden boxes and crates. Until eventually he drags out a series of chains. Shunk, 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 shunk. And puts them onto the table. These very... not too incredibly heavy duty, but these steel chains. Very rare make. I can part with this here for A good 5 gold pieces, if you want to take it off my hands.
Very well.
It's yours.
205 gold then for you.
Thank you.
She'll count that.
What about half-elven friend here? What can I do for you?
Yeah, I am all right in terms of smithing at the moment. I was wondering 2 things. A, do you have any short swords, long swords for sale?
Yeah, I do. Got all the collections of weapons you need. Just tell me what you want.
Okay, you would buy 2 short swords, 2 long swords.
Cool. You got the prices handy on you, or do you want me to look that up?
I can find it right now.
Cool. Awesome. So just look up the standard market prices. Yeah, and just subtract that from your gold. He sells everything relatively near market price.
Alright. And then just gonna ask, I was I don't know where to look for this. Do you know any tales of smiths?
What are you looking for?
I have something I need to find its origins. And whoever crafted it first, I assume Elven make, but I'm unsure. I'll
Well,
put the pieces of data on the table.
she's no smith, but I do know one. Lady of elven blood. Owns a small shop by the name of Varium and Valor. Down the street, 2 blocks.
Much obliged.
Welcome. Come back anytime. And shovels coal into the roaring forge.
That guy's voice is so good.
Thank you.
Good day.
Good day to you.
Bye bye.
No, wait, Nepenthe, I don't know. I can carry all these swords. I can carry 2 at a time.
Oh, yeah. She just automatically takes all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are gonna go to Varium and Valor. Oh, sorry, my apologies. Val and Valor is the name of the shop. Val and Valor, not Varium and Valor.
Yeah, let's go there.
Okay, as we cut now, the eagle flies through the city. Image cuts back down to Ness and Ronax. Both of you make investigation checks for me. For Ronax with advantage, I'll say.
Oh no. So -2. Oh, okay.
Natural
Well, that's
20. Let's
natural
go.
20. That's
Equally-
20 -2.
Yeah.
For a total of 18.
Congratulations. So, yeah,
The same as Renex's natural 12.
you match at an 18. Though a natural 20 it will be as much of a success as I can give you in this regard. Let's see here. It takes you not long at all. Actually, you imagine that trying to find scholared mines in a place like this would be relatively difficult. But you almost zone in on this one place, and upon asking the people in town, they all point towards the same direction. It is this large sort of flat sand hill, where upon the top of this raised ground are a series of kind of more well-constructed brick buildings. You see that the bricks are a bit weathered with sand, and the orange is starting to become more light brown. And they look to be of better make than the rest of the city. Past that, still, you see a large pyramid. magnificent, really. The only one of its kind in the city. It's huge. It's blazing, almost divine. You feel the forces of the divine at work with this one construct, oddly out of place in the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nez thinks this is cool. What does Ronax think?
How it's a very large pyramid, yeah.
Yes.
So we probably would have seen it from the inside the city.
Yeah. Totally.
I think that she's probably been glancing at it this whole time.
Do you think that there is scholars in the big stone hill?
There's a possibility.
Yeah, I'll take a possibility.
Okay.
I'm certainly interested in going to see it further up close.
You head towards the Sun God's Ward, where the surrounding area of this huge pyramid are more well-established buildings in the city. You see pieces of tarp, cloth tents, and you start seeing people of more scholarly backgrounds. You see people who look to be archaeologists, you see researchers of all sorts, and you eventually come to a building where it immediately catches your eye, the symbol of the Cobalt Soul upon a small sort of domed architecture, whereas upon written the Cobalt Reserve, sorry, and right next to that is a an equally sized bungalow, whereupon written in front there is a sign saying Archaeologist Guild.
Is by the way, where's Akil? By the way, is he with us?
Oh, Akil was with you, yeah.
I've been looking over here. Oh yeah, that symbol is like your symbol.
Yeah, he like opens up his scarf, and on his tunic there is a symbol of the same make.
Yeah. Has you been here before?
Asking Akil?
Yeah.
No, I have never been here before. That's not his accent. Why is he French?
Oui, mon ami.
Le golf.
Le golf. No, I've never been here before. What is that? He just says he's never been here before.
Honestly, I kind of imagine him sounding like that.
Yeah.
He has sand in his throat.
Yeah.
How's Ronex reacting to the School of Archaeology thing? I, the player, want to know.
Her response seems to be more measured than you might have thought. Unlike the discovery underwater, I believe that she would have read up quite a bit about some of the places here in Reuben Ridge if she had the opportunity to.
Okay. Make a, what would this be? History check? With advantage for me. Just to surmise from like your reading. 24, that's awesome. That's great. Archaeology in Reuben Ridge 101. People have been hard at work trying to dig up past ruins within the Thordakian desert for the better part of the last 200 years. Not much effort has been made, actually, because of the low funding given to the field of study itself. It was only recently that the Cobalt Stole became involved with the local archaeology schools within the area, that they had started to uncover more and more. However, it is very difficult due to areas that are covered by buried underneath large amounts of sand. And so digging sites have always been a problem because they lack the people who have magical capabilities of taking out large bodies of sand. Yeah. But, as is with your knowledge, last month, an earthquake happened. And this earthquake somehow had managed to raise up the ruins that had been buried under the sands for gods before the Age of Restoration. And you don't know what the current situation of that is, but judging from the amount of scholars present in this area, it seemed to have attracted a few minds and eyes.
Do I recognize anybody?
Ooh, make a perception check.
I'm bad at these. Hold on, let me. There we go.
Well, no, it's just a sea of people, really.
Ness, would you mind if we went inside the guild before we visited the Cobalt Reserve?
No, nobody doesn't really know what an arachnology is, so but but I will try to listen, and then maybe you can tell me what they were saying.
I'll try and summarize as best as possible.
You enter the Archaeologist Guild. You find a relatively large empty space. You see a few scholars here and there. A large table is set out in the center of the room, where a piece of tarp is laid down on top of it, and sand-covered relics lie atop this table. You see glyphs, you see crystals, you see parts of very strange constructs and machinery it's laid out before you, like the museum in Stardew Valley.
Hold on. You overlooked this a little bit. What are people looking at Vorax about?
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
We've overlooked Vorax in literally every setting,
Yeah.
every conversation, every thing that has ever existed.
It's just us, our bird, and our very unobtrusive giant mechanical dragon.
Yeah.
We've not cared about the way that our party is perceived once in this entire game.
The rest of Ryfield, sorry, the rest of Lorei'an, maybe not so much attention. In the midst of this den of archaeologists and scholars and researchers, all of them turn their heads immediately to you at the entrance as this large dragon construct comes through the door.
Pardon me. And she reaches into her pocket and pulls out her archaeologist crest. I was wondering if you might be able to give me some information, as she's just totally acting like nothing is wrong here.
You see, like, the look of panic and surprise on the faces of these archaeologists as they run and shuffle and whisper and talk, and the hectic chaos has descended upon the Archaeologist Guild until somebody who looks like they are in charge comes forward. You see this the creaking of wheelchairs, and you almost get taken aback a moment as you remember the sound of Master Logarius' wheelchair. My apologies. But not him. Instead of a set of less structurally sound wheelchairs, looks to be made in semblance of his, approaches an aged man, sort of this graying white beard. Skin is red like fire red, and these orange eyes peer through the hood. And you notice that he is missing a leg, and where it is instead a peg that is stationed on this wheelchair.
Looking at Roy's reaction is very funny.
No, I'm laughing at Roy made a face. It made me so happy.
You see, the gentleman approaches you, introduces himself, saying, "Welcome to Cobalt Reserves and Archaeologists Guild. I am Expositor Lorei'an Kai. You seem to carry with you an oddly astounding companion, really."
Oh yes. My sincerest apologies. I've been with him for so long. I've become quite desensitized to his presence. This is Vorax. I picked him up at a.
You see, as you say
yeah.
that, his eye sparks up, and he like pulls out a notebook as to like note down which ruin you picked him up at. Continue your sentence. Sorry.
I actually picked him up at a local. Well, I say local. I found him in Ryfield.
Come again.
He was in a box and quite beautifully preserved.
You found him in a box in Ryfield.
Yes. It is quite strange. I certainly was not expecting to find him in such a condition there.
My lady, you don't seem to understand. A construct of his age and design. And he like looks at Vorax very intensely. This sort of like arcane flash goes through about his eyes as he scans the construct creature. It says, "Looks to be, dear me, high Siphanian design. What on earth were you doing inside a box in Ryfield?"
I was wondering quite the same thing. Frankly, I don't really know. I picked him up from a merchant who was very generous and gave it to me. Said that they were looking for someone to. This was before the
Oh shit, we were supposed to find them.
earthquake.
Oops.
You see, he like it looks very taken aback. He says, "I just want to explain to you the significance of your find. We have searched for the better part of 40 years in the sites of Old Siphana, and not once have we ever found anything so quite put together and functional as what you have brought in through my doors today. You must understand. Comes as
Of course. Would you like to take a look at him?
Of course, yeah. Feel free to come in. Dear me, I've been expecting some people for the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you know of them. The bishop of the Cobalt Soul in Ryfield had sent some people my way. Mentioned that one of them may be a red dragonborn.
That was us.
Oh, that was you.
Uh,
Excellent.
My other companions, your representative, the representative of the Cobalt Soul is not with us at the moment. He went off on some temporary other business, but I'm sure that we will be able to link up and reconvene here.
Oh dear,
But-
why didn't you say so earlier? Welcome. Feel free. Peruse, stay as long as you like. You have access to the teleportation circle if you wish, if you have that capability. We'll have to talk later today after I've taken a look at your companion.
Please be gentle with him. He is someone I have grown very fond of.
I shall.
I
No
tr-
worries. I promise.
And she kind of takes a step aside. and-
Apologies, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, Ronax. Ronax Melodies.
It's Ronax Melodies. Oasis Kai.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Orlan.
Very much so. Okay. Ness, what are
Yeah,
you
we're
doing?
about to get an Appa's episode.
A what episode?
We're about to get an episode of Appa's last days or whatever it is, where he gets kidnapped, taken across country.
Shut your mouth.
I'm calling her right now.
Let me just type out the name here for you. Aurelon.
These guys have been searching for this thing for literally hundreds of years. There's no way they don't try to take it from us.
Okay.
Calling the encounter right now.
I am a fellow scholar and archaeologist. I'm sure that
They don't
they
give a
would
shit.
be-
They're taking that.
No.
I'll be a little
They're
mad at them.
scholars. They're not horrible, evil people.
Oh yes, scholars have never done anything wrong in the name of science.
Go ahead.
Nothing immoral throughout history.
So Ness was watching that with his hands like across his chest, and then when Oren kind of wheels himself away, it leans in and goes, "I've got maybe that one word in 3."
He was just this was the person that we were supposed to meet.
He seems really excited.
Yes, they all are very excited to see Vorax.
So,
Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
no, go on.
Okay. If you don't mind, Barrett, sticking with this portion of the party for a little bit longer, he takes you into sort of like a more private, quiet area where a piece of tarp lays on the floor, and he instructs Vorax to lie down. And Expositor Aurelon Kai kneels down, takes out a magnifying glass, takes a look. First of all, compliments you on the excellent shape that you've kept him in.
This is a vet.
Yeah.
It has been quite some sort of challenge. His material is very durable, surprisingly enough, and anytime I make some sort of repairs on him, it's almost like he reforms himself. It's quite interesting to watch. If you like, I can ask him, and we can demonstrate.
We've got samples of Siphanian steel. Plenty, in fact. You've probably seen some laying out front, but I did not know they had reconstructing properties. Really.
Vorax, may I? And Ronax kind of walks up to him and takes out her little dagger and says, "Hopefully this won't hurt. I'll be gentle." And she's just gonna kind of give him a little nick on like one of his main chest plates.
Clink!
And then use bending.
Armor forms back undamaged. He says, "Astounding. So the use of magic such as mending does indeed work on Siphanian steel. Rather interesting. Your construct, if referencing from our material, seems to be from dear. What is this? High Siphanian era. My dear, this is before Realm Shatter. Or at least the leading theory of it. At least 3,000 years old."
I think mentally she kind of knew that he was from that time, but hearing someone that she considers to be her better colleague so plainly state it like that, she kind of looks him over again.
Seem to have modified his functions, his battle capabilities as good as they say Sifanian battle mechs are.
Sorry, just hearing you call him a battle mech.
I know, it sounds weird. He's literally a battle mech, though.
This is just Roddy living out his personal dreams.
We haven't even gotten there yet, buddy.
She looks at Orla and Kai, and she says, Do you have any additional questions for me? I'm sure I've spent many months with him at this point.
It seems to the function, as I am taking note of his body structure, seems to be upheld with some sort of magic. No wonder these we always find these things in pieces scattered about. Armor is unconnected. How did you form the inner structure?
Yes. I, along with the representative of the Cobalt Soul, Xavier, we imbued artificing magic into him to power him, and used a crystal in order to amplify that, and that seemed to work. However, I've had some theories. I believe that we may have brute forced the activation of this creature, and that it seemed to, when it awoke, it seemed to almost take as if a baby bird were imprinting on its mother sort of connection with me. It's very strange.
I am more than speechless. You see, he looks very astounded by. He looks at the crystal and says, "A crystal core, genius, really. Who would have thought? Almost like a magnetic field and pulling these plates of armor together." I'm gonna make a quick roll. He just glances over the crystal. You see he seems to not know the potency of this very unique crystal that you have with you. He says, "Thank you for presenting me with this close of a look. But without doubt, if you are the people you say you are, we will be sending you off to excavate more ruins in the Sifanian area. Hopefully you'll come across something similar to him."
I hope that we might be able to shed some light on whatever has happened to our world. I also have some notes that I would like to present to the guild regarding an underwater city that I've come across.
You see his eye widens as you basically dropped two very large bombs of information on this like senior archaeologist. And it was an underwater city. There were a series of civilizations that existed under the seas, but I did not imagine.
My family has been searching for quite some time for various different things related to realm shatter. You may have heard of the Meledes family. but I have taken extensive notes and hope to present them to you. And she is going to freely hand over most, if not all, of the notes that she's taken
Awesome.
from the city.
Awesome.
Copies, of course.
Okay. Yeah. This is huge. It's massive, and it's probably gonna be very influential moving forward. In a good way.
Can't wait.
In a good
Can't
way.
wait till we raid the underwater cities.
No, these are researchers solely limited to the Cobalt Soul. You haven't met any bodies of people that are from factions above and beyond that. So
I think in her notes, particularly, she would have grappled with it a bit, but I believe that she would not have given away the location per se, just the general.
It's weird that we're the only ones that have come across it. It takes literally a 3rd level spell.
I mean, the crystal is. Oh wait, you're talking about the underwater city. Normally,
Yeah.
and Davos has told you this. Normally, there is a veil that hides Almiria Lys from the rest, from the naked eye. But since the earthquake happened, it sort of like choked that barrier down.
I totally never knew that.
You did?
I don't know if that's a me issue. I didn't realize that was a thing.
It was.
I was like, all right, we're thrown into the underwater city. Let's do it.
You see Aurelon Kai says, you'll have to allow me to ponder and leave me with these notes alone for the better part of today. Please have your friends come in the evening and we can discuss our plans moving forward from there.
I do have one more information for information, I suppose.
Oh, of course.
Are you familiar with Lorei'an?
The old man. Yes, I am. You know him?
I am his student.
Ah! The man's gone and made himself student. And look at him. Must be so proud for a student to be discovering all of these secrets and uncovering all of these archaeological finds.
That's me laughing, not her.
Yeah.
She looks rather embarrassed in this moment, actually. And she turns around and she actually looks at Ness a bit as if seeking some sort of guidance before turning back.
Ness looks a little bit confused because he was like, "What? Like, why wouldn't he be proud?"
Well, I've been away from home for so long. It's been difficult for me to send word back and forth. He doesn't really quite know yet.
I see. Well, that's rather unfortunate. I feel like he would revel in the success of his students. He's always been a good man. That Lorei'an. We used to study together back at the academy. In fact, before he set off on his own path to Thessalia, the both of us had a chance to study together in Emerexium, in the Berylian Empire.
You see that she kind of blinks. Berylia.
Yes, so before all these tensions, talks of wars, conflicts, all these became a thing, there used to be an age, yes. Yes, how long was it now that we used to be able to freely travel and pass knowledge from one place to another, a period of learning, truly. A rebirth. Renaissance. The word escapes me. It's halfling. You know what I mean.
You can see when he begins to describe this time a bit clearer. There was a bit of tension that relaxes from her shoulders, and she lets out a. I see. Yes, that makes much more sense. I am quite young, so it is difficult for me to.
Well, you know what they say. The young minds will always surpass the thoughts of the older generation. Need it be a little spark of imagination and courage to seek out knowledge. Go ahead.
So I'm not following all of the details of the conversation, but I noticed that moment. Is he just happily and innocently blathering on, or did he just minimize that to cover for something?
Make an insight check.
That's a natural 20 plus 4.
Seems truthfully, honestly, a very happy, jaunty old man who was reminded of an old friend.
All right.
Yeah, you know what it's like, nostalgia. Yeah.
We will take our leave then, and I will leave you to intake all this information. When I return, I have a bit of an updated design for the wheelchair. I did not know that Lorei'an had friends with similar issues.
As the old man's leg failed him as well. He actually designed this for one of our masters back in Amarexia.
He was injured.
Understandably so. The field of work, the pursuit of knowledge is often dangerous. I myself lost his leg but a few months ago, excavating the ruins myself. It is dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah. I'll just a quick once over.
Cool.
Does he apart from the injury, does he look in good health?
Looks healthy. Bags under his eyes a bit, but par for the course.
Okay. Yeah, it is nice to meet you, and I'm happy that you were excited. Okay, I'm done talking now.
Feel free to peruse the libraries for any information, but I doubt with the vast amounts of information that you've already given me and found, our shoddy little place will suffice for any more than you already know.
Yeah. Unless you knows anything about really old trees.
That I may be able to help with. Come back to me tonight.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Tonight. When tonight?
Gather the rest of you. Dinner. We'll say my treat.
That is nice of you. Okay.
Yeah, he waves you goodbye. And we... yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is so unfortunate. I'm so sorry, everybody, but I need to go.
That's okay. I got as much as I wanted out of that for you there, because I know you have to leave early. That's awesome.
I thought you were about to say I got as much as I wanted out of you.
No. That was the wrong wording. I'm sorry. We got the most out of that situation for you there.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys next weekend.
Have a good drive,
Yeah, we
okay?
have the
Stay
most
safe.
out of it. We're cutting you out of it.
Bye-bye.
Have fun.
Bye.
Okie dokie.
I was about to say, yeah, we got the most out of you for it because we cut you out of it.
Such an ass. Okay. Before our break, let's do one more quick errand here. Amabilis, you want to do something? You PM'd me?
Yes, I wanted to look for a fabric store shop.
Yeah, of course. So as the three of you start walking down this sort of waterside marketplace, you pass by a place before getting to Val and Valor's. This place is called the Silk's Touch.
Is it a pickaxe?
Get the reference.
Amabilis goes in ahead. Hello.
See the door opens. Another bell. Ling, 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 ling. Does she jump up at it? Yeah. It opens
She's too
into
short with to lift her up.
the front of this store. You see like mannequins or what would be the representative of medieval mannequins. Like these clay dolls that clothes have been put on. What's the name of this this here place? I didn't write down a name. I'll just come up with one. Tadestra is, you see, a lizard folk woman adorning these very fine feathers atop her head, very colorful clothing. As you walk in, she says, "Ah, hello. How can Tadestra help you today?"
Well, do you have any satin or crepe that I could buy?
Sorry, could you repeat that for me?
Satin,
Satin.
fabric, and yeah.
Yes, we can certainly get that for you.
How much would I need for a 5'5" tall person?
Dear, you seem to be knowledgeable in this field. Go and look for you. As she rifles through the fabric. Are you looking to get something made, or are you looking to buy something?
Oh, just the fabric will do.
I can go in and get satin and crepe for you here. We'll say for a 5x5 foot, 30 gold pieces apiece.
I would like bright golden color one and navy blue, please.
I can get that for you. And goes ahead and cuts out some fabric as you request and gives them to you for that will be total 60 gold.
All right. Thank you very much, lizard woman.
Shouts towards you, Depends. You seem to be wearing a bit encumbering armor. Got to take a look around.
Perhaps I am far better suited for colder weather. I guess just whatever you have that'll keep me coolest.
And
Oh, you wouldn't need that. It's okay.
your friend seems to got it handled.
We're done here. Let's go to the ship now, shall we?
Come again.
Okay. Was she gonna scam me, Amabilis?
Yeah, totally. She was going to do that.
Wow. Thanks.
That's adorable. Okay. You now get to your second destination. Vow and Valor. This seems to be a magic item store. Whereupon entering, you see this very tall, high elven woman with like jewelries in her hair and everything tied up into this very tight bun atop her head. Tall, long-necked and adorning these very elaborate silk blue robes, and says, "Welcome." Xavier, you needed something from the store?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk to them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is the Elven store, right?
Yep.
Elven female. Just kind of look around, like doing that thing where he's like trying to get the shop owner's attention, but like not look like he's trying to get their attention. Just like going through the aisles, like looking at things.
There's quite a few things here.
Just like sifting through them and then just moving on, looking at the shop owner. Just like
It's,
it's very annoying.
her voice actually comes from behind and jump scares you a little bit, and she says, "Are you looking for anything?"
You have quite a bit of things for sale. Is there anything special?
Everything is special. Stock came in recently. Not many customers. Are you looking to take anything? What are you looking for?
What do they sell here again?
Magic items, scrolls.
Shit.
Yeah, just all sorts of stuff.
I'd love to just look through any items that might pertain magical qualities and perhaps some scrolls if you have any.
Of course.
But beyond that, I was wondering if you had any interest or knowledge or capability in any form of smithing.
Smithing, not so
Arcane
much,
craft.
but if you are looking for appraisal, there are no better eyes in the city here than mine.
Ooh, cool.
You see, she goes ahead and presents to you the items she has. Let's go with the items first. She picks up this very large jewel necklace. It's green emerald. Upon the front of it is engraved the kind of an emblem of a serpent. It says, "This a very handy thing. Upon the wearer will protect and nullify all forms of poison and disease." This is a periapt of protection against poison. She
Okay.
also points to a very interesting looking piece of armor. It's studded leather. Looks very Arabian in design, almost like red silks and brown tanned leather with these metal patches on it. A hood, kind of like the Thieves Guild uniform from Skyrim. It points at that.
Okay.
That is a studded leather armor +1.
Okay.
We also
That's
have
okay.
here, if
That
your,
could be up Ambrose' alley.
your price range, if not too incredibly high, have this ring that will allow you to walk on water. There is a ring of water walking, and then she sees the lack of interest in your eyes, and she says,
3 people knowing they're going to the desert being offered a ring of water walking.
"Yeah,
Yeah, I think the fact that Xavier catch eyes and just go,
this is very much one of those things where I present to you an item that would have been useful in the previous arc."
yeah.
Yeah, she like, oh, she like nods and says, "Okay, that's all right. Maybe this will catch your eyes." Pulls out a large rucksack, puts it on the table. It's got this design of like a smiling face in front. As you watch as she takes like one of the books that are laying around, picks it up, puts it inside the bag, and her hand emerges free, and you're like, what? It's a bag. She just put the book inside the bag, and then she like shows you the inside of the bag, and it's empty. And then she puts her hand inside the bag, and almost and in a flash, the book appears outside, and she's holding it. This very neat little bag can hold a number of things inside its pouches and space. Have you ever heard of it before? It is called a bag of holding. Last one
I've
left.
heard of
else?
such a thing. I've heard of such a thing, but
This one
our party is
here.
very large. I don't know how valuable it would be to us.
Oh, especially to a very large party, it would be valuable. You've got things to store your belongings. Infinite amount of space.
Nepenthe is trying not to glance at the extra 4 swords that she's carrying.
4 swords, axe, graded sword, just like 7
I'm
weapons.
probably carrying the bolts of fabric, like.
Yeah.
This one I'm willing to part with for a mere 5,000 gold pieces.
Ugh.
For the bag?
Yeah.
As someone who is knowledgeable in enchantment, that's outrageous, right?
Yeah.
I will eye her and say, as an arcane practitioner, that's a little pricey, don't you think?
Make a persuasion check.
Don't forget we have inspiration.
Oh yeah, for being bomb-ass actors.
You're gonna use your dope ass
Really?
inspiration on a haggle? Yeah, yeah.
Roll it before
No,
he
no,
takes
keep
it
it,
back.
keep it, keep it.
24.
You see, she like recoils a little. 4,000. Last one.
Still feels. Doesn't that still feel expensive?
Because it is expensive.
It's like an uncommon enchantment, isn't it?
I'll tell
Does that
you,
still feel expensive?
you won't find any other shops that sell at this price.
Amanda
the-
steps forwards and she's like, "Can it be 300?" And then she pulls out the large eyes.
Large eyes.
You see, she laughs. Says, "Cute. Your pet carries pocket money."
She's
Alright,
not a
I don't think
pet.
any rudeness is called for.
My apologies. It's a bit of
It's
playful
poor business.
bantering. 4,000, no less.
300.
I'll do the list. It's okay.
Stop.
Like she narrows her eyes and like gives you a very intense look.
How difficult would it be to make this myself?
That I wouldn't know. Make an Arcana check. We'll see.
Between me and
Ronax could make it, but Ronax
Ronax.
is full on those slots at the moment because he's made so many guns. Is it
30.
not too incredibly difficult actually, but you lack the resource or knowledge to make it.
on a 30?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's like 40 is still overpriced. You maybe like a bag in like this, if you find it on a good day in Greenhaven, would go for 2,500.
Okay.
I don't know. That's definitely way too much.
3,500.
Okay, like
300.
Honestly, when I saw it, I was like, "Yeah, we can drop 1,000 on that." Like, that's about what I was thinking. Mm.
Well, unless you find a better shop in Dendolith. There's no other ones
We have a
here.
portable hole. We don't need it.
Yeah, like player to player.
Oh,
Do we
I know.
really need a bag of holding right now?
No problem. No problem. Just put it out there in case you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to consider it.
I was like planning the session and I'm like, I'm at that point where I can throw at the bag of holding at them. Sure.
The portable hole kind of negates our need for storage, so.
Yeah.
The space inside of a portable hole is significantly less than a bag of holding, though.
Mm-hmm.
And more of a hassle to use, but whatever. This
I
bitch
think
ain't
it's
moving. Yeah,
I
we're
think
fine.
we're okay.
We're
Yeah.
fine. I was mainly just here looking for the appraisal, seeing if she has any knowledge of
Sure.
a weapon such as Don, so I'll pull that out and ask about that instead.
Okay. See, she like sighs and says, "I'll do this for you, even though you didn't buy anything." Her eye just glosses over with purple as she runs her hands through the broken blade. Decent. Seems to be. And she's just staring off into space, not really entirely looking at you. Seems to be. Yes. High elven make. Strong steel. No, not steel. Mithril. Beyond that, what is the inner? Ah, dear. What have you got here? There seems to be traces of adamantium in this sword. Not only that, an ore not found on this plane.
I know of any that would fit that description.
Wait, is adamantium a Marvel thing? I just realized.
Yeah.
Oh
You
god,
and
I meant,
Adamantium.
yeah. Adamantium is totally a Marvel thing. I am so sorry.
Copyright us!
You said it, and I was like Wolverine?
I was like, wait, that's not what
My
I was
next
going
evolution.
for.
Ah.
Is that totally a Marvel thing? That's not what I was meant to say.
It's a vibranium weapon, guys.
Yeah, sorry. Traces of a foreign ore not
Like
found
kryptonite.
on the material plane.
Are there any traces of kryptonite in there?
No, you asshole! I'm sorry. It was an honest mistake. I was one syllable off.
You added one letter.
Yeah.
All right.
She says, materials like this, the inner core of it can probably only be restored through someone who has an innate magic of the astral sea.
That is that. How? What do I know about the astral sea and its magics?
Make an Arcana check.
I'm good at those now. See, I'm not good at those anymore.
That was totally an Izel moment.
Why?
Sorry, Roy and I had a moment this morning where I was like, Raji, can you make me a persuasion check? I was like, I'm good at those, and then I roll a 2. 16. It's the studies of the astral plane is on some level escapes your memory, but you know it to be a vast sea of stars and open space and possibility, and you have no idea what business the inner structure of Dawn has with the astral sea and the astral plane itself. But you probably have to find somebody who has knowledge of the magic of the astral sea, or if the readings are proven to be through a Gith Yankee or Gith Serai, would most likely be able to see to it.
That doesn't sound great. Ooh, I don't think we'll get this weapon online ever. That's the new plan. Move on.
And so you think, how the fuck did your father get get his hands on an ore that originates from the astral sea?
Well, do I know? Does Zon date back to my papa, or is it like
Oh wait, yeah, it's a great granddad kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Unless he's just lying to me. Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Not gonna buy anything.
The
Madeline is gonna stick her tongue out.
Cute.
the Ben sidesteps in front of Madeline.
Yeah.
The periapt. The poison protection.
This one
Your cost on that?
appropriately goes for 5,000.
You do ask too much. Have a good day.
For all means and purposes, the periapt of proof against poison does indeed cost 5,000 gold.
Yeah, sir.
You know what? We get our shit. We get our shit for free by killing people. All right. We don't need to buy.
I'm gonna go raid a dungeon and get the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
we shoot and loot.
I'm gonna have to think of some more attractive shop stuff for next time you're in the city. Then Dolith will be a bag of treats. Okay. With that, I believe there's nothing else you wanted to do. Actually, you know what? Instead of taking a break, I might actually finish off tonight in like 10 minutes here because we're missing 2 people. And next week we're gonna have Goff and Amir back. So for these last 10 minutes, I'm gonna introduce you one last little thing. Ness, you start making your way back from the sort of densely populated archaeologist area. You catch sight kind of off in the streets where people where there's little to no buildings. You hear this loud thud and like animal noises, and you're not quite sure where it's coming from.
I'm assuming that Ronex and Akil are with me.
Yes.
Okay. What can I see exactly?
So often make a perception check actually.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, just give me a description of my surroundings.
You have descended these sort of stairs that come down into the lower parts again. And you see these like sandstone roads that intersect, and at that 4-way intersection you hear a series of animal noises. You recognize some of which, and actually you don't recognize any of these animals. You think horses maybe? No, not really. And your nose at a 10 catches the smell of dung and hay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously going to have a look.
Okay. You walk and onto your side there you now come into an open space where it looks to be a pen of animals for sale. Very much like the stables in Ryfield, but bigger. And here there are fences with dozens and dozens of animals. You're not quite sure what this creature is. Make a nature check.
Ness has found how he wants to spend his gold.
Probably. What does it look like, by the way?
It's strange. It's like a horse, but it's got a hump on its back.
Oh, okay.
Hump horse.
It's bumpy.
Yeah, bump
A
horse.
bumpy
hump
horse.
Just for the purposes,
Oh, bump horse.
you see Tujo, not Ness. You see maybe 20 or so alpacas. You see camels, goats, sheeps, and in particular, the ground shakes. And you look, and at the side of this building are these two chained up, four-legged dinosaur-looking creatures. I'll go ahead and show you a handout here. This is ripped from Ark, but I'm sure that's...
That has to be scientifically accurate.
do
Accurate.
you see these?
I'm not seeing it.
Oh, okay.
We don't get to see it.
I'll just add these to your... There you go.
You can just right-click and show the players.
There, can you see it now?
Oh wow!
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
okay.
god. It looks so weird.
Yeah, it's almost like one of those long-necked dinosaurs in Petilos, but these are brown and they are very heavily muscled. And these two in particular, they're the size of buildings, right? They are saddled up, and on the saddles themselves seems to be this like platform. And one has a house built on top of it.
That's where our money goes.
Well, I can't. I don't think I have enough shiny metal to free all of these things. But obviously, I am getting a dinosaur.
Okay. You like walk up and you see this like gruff looking half orc, the owner of the stables.
Yeah, I am at least smart enough to get Vernax to do the negotiation.
Okay. We can save that for next time then. But I have just put in front of you Paracerathiums, I believe they are called. Paracerathiums, yeah. And the way that these work is that they will be a mount that you can use, and you can build on top of the platform on their backs. And you can
Oh
like
my god.
add
What
adjustments.
are we gonna build?
You're basically giving you like a moving base of sorts if you're interested, where you can have stuff added onto it. These things are huge, so you know.
Yeah, it's a house beast.
Yeah, it's a house beast.
Just the thought of Ness rolling up with a dinosaur, like
It's such a Ness move. We get back. Ness, we left you alone for 10 minutes.
And he has like an army of alpaca behind him.
The army of alpacas follow the dinosaur like baby ducklings.
Yeah.
where did you get those?
All right.
Who agreed to this?
Yeah.
On that note, we're gonna end this session a little short here tonight. Yeah. Let me just close up the stream so we can discuss and talk. Thank you everybody so much for joining us today. We'll be back next week for a hopefully longer session once we have our bird boy and our dragon lady back. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good day. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.